Now, okay, we're starting. Is it running? Are you on my channel? This is I install a new. Is it? Yeah. It's okay. Is do you have sound also? Sound. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. Good. So right now we're going to begin some training here with some students from from this school from Poland. They are nice guys, and we're going to begin the training making some local group policies, creating also organization units, and we have got here some the training in English and hopefully in Poland. And first of all, we have one server is already installed and updated. It took almost 2 days for update Windows 2060. It's a new one. And the first thing that we have to do after we install it's making the updates. After, let's configure the network interface and also the host name of the machine. So using the graphical we go to change adapter settings, and first of all, since we are working with two network interfaces, we must know what's the interface that is connected directly to the WAN and the interface that is connected to the LAN. So since we are working also with VirtualBox, we must know which is, and in NAT we have the network card who has the MAC address that finish in D42, and other network the second adapter is with the name intnet and finished with 893. So first, if you go here on status you'll find out that this one has the IP 10.02.15 and it's D42, so this one must be connected directly to the one, and we can rename the interface saying that this is the one interface. The other interface you can rename it and say it's internal, okay, or LAN or whatever. Therefore it will be much more easy to configure each interface. So this interface will have, in terms of IP, it has the IP 192.168.10.1 with normal 24 bits, and for default gateway and preferred DNS and alternated DNS, we don't write anything. We'll wait, and the system will fill with localhost, the IP of localhost, and that's the correct IP that should be here. And then we closed, and right now we have configured the interfaces. Windows 16 has the same dashboard or similar dashboard as Windows 2012, and therefore first of all, this machine is not yet domain server, and we begin to do it. So if you come to the File Explorer, this PC, right click, and then you have properties. You can check the properties of this machine. This is the name, the computer name of the machine. Let's run on command line. I'm going to change the colors and the screen text and the font to a bigger one so you can check it. So right now the host name, it's win something. This name is it's a name that Windows, the Microsoft providers, and it's not always the same, since we had a problem with Windows 2003. The name that came by default was a server, and each time it was promoted, you will have many servers with the host name of server. So we'll begin to change. As you can see, it is as a work group, and we begin to change the name, and we'll change it to your surname. Okay. And then okay, and the system will need to reboot, unfortunately. Okay. Close. It will restart, and after restarting, we're going to promote this server to a domain controller. We have also here Windows 10. It's always updated also, and we have to configure the network, and to do so he has only one interface, but this interface in VirtualBox, and since we want to connect both virtual machines, it can't be in NAT, so we'll put it in internal network and also in IntNet. Okay. Now I had a drawing here. Let me India. And here it is. This is what we agreed that probably we could do. The first step was to install a Windows server here, and then with Windows 10 it will be internet. This is the IP address of the internal network of Windows Server, and the Windows 10 will receive an IP automatically by the DHCP protocol. Right now we are just trying to see if they connect, and so we'll put also this interface of Windows as IntNet, and we can also give a static IP address just for testing, perhaps 13, and then we'll check if both virtual machines can communicate with each other. So we come here, properties, and on Windows 10 we'll give the IP address of 192.168.10.13. Now the gateway here is important. The gateway is the IP address of the internal interface of Windows 2720, that is 10.1, right? Of Windows 2060. So after we configure, right now we can go to the command prompt. Let me change this also. Colors, this one, and blue, and font a bit bigger. Oops. And right now if you ping 192.168.10.1, it's not responding. That's good, because someone is stepping on the wire, probably. IntNet. Let me check here. Password. Let me open. I'm going to copy this to the desktop. Yeah, it's okay. Ping. Yeah, it's the IntNet. So right now we can't ping. Let me try again. Perhaps Right now, Windows 10 can't ping Windows Server inside. You know what could be the problem? Suggestions? Firewall? Yeah, that's it. Right now, and since we not promote this Windows 60 to domain controller, the network right now, they are protected by Windows Firewall. Just for a case, we're going to turn it off just for a while and check if it pings again. Ping, and right now is pinging. Okay. After we promote, and that's what we're going to do right now in Windows 2060, and we're going to promote right away. We don't have too much time, so how do we promote a server? If you come to configure the properties of the computer, you'll say that the computer name right now is surname. It's a workgroup, it's not a domain controller. The Windows Firewall, it's off on public or in private. There's no nick team. Has the internal IPv6 is enabled, and also that IP that we gave. This is the time zone. Here is something that we shouldn't do this, but since we're going to need to go to the internet with the Internet Explorer, we can configure and change security configuration by disallowing on administrator only. Okay. Now this is the RAM, this is total hard disk, and right now you're going to promote the server. This is the only server, and you're going to do add roles, and then next. Are you following? Yep. Next. Remote feature-based installation. Next. Here we could select another server. This is a solution that Microsoft showed us with Windows 2012, that we could manage more than one server with this dashboard. So we'll say next, and right now what we need is to Active Directory domain service. Okay. I'm not going to explain here what is Active Directory, what is behind, but this is the way how you promote the server. Then you said add features. Look, the DNS, domain name server, or even DHCP is not installed. We're not going to install now, but since we are promoting the server to Active Directory domain service, you'll notice that the server will need to be this DNS server must be also installed. So we say next, and then next, and after we say to restart destination server automatically if necessary, and we install. Okay. Are you following? Yeah? And then closed. And here on notifications you'll have the information: promote this server to domain controller. So you have to promote the server, and what we'll do when we are promoting, you have three possibilities. you can add this domain controller to an existing domain, to an existing forest, or begin a new forest. And that's what you're going to do, add a new forest. Here comes the root name, the root domain name, and Microsoft uses the NetBIOS name and also the top level domain as considering all the domains. So the domain was your name, right? Your name slash local, okay? So write your name slash local, okay? Not your name, but your name, okay? Good. Next. Now, you have forest functional level and domain function level. It means the relations between servers and also the servers with the clients. Let's stay with this. It will look. You're also going to install domain name system, a DNS server, and it will have the global catalog. Is not going to be a read-only domain controller. This is another issue, and the password here is just a password for restart. So you put here the password. What's the password? Okay. I hope it's no. It's not okay. And the password. Yeah. And then next. And next, you don't need to create a DNS delegation, and he asks here for a NetBIOS domain name. The NetBIOS domain name will be the secondary level domain of the domain in Windows. That is, it will be your name. Yeah, see, your name in capital. So next, then we have the pass. We are installing this on drive C, but for security reasons and for you should at least the sysvol or even the database folder should not be on the same drive. They should be on a drive D or a write drive, a write 5 drive, where it should be holded. Okay, but okay, this is just for training purposes and to be much more fast. Let's do next. Then here you give us the review options. You can see what we are doing. You can go back, and you have also a script, and this script says in PowerShell scripts how can we promote this server using these options on the PowerShell. So if you want, you can save this. You can save this on your desktop, and you can say it's promote Win 2060, okay, and save it. So right now we'll say next, and you'll check that it will also need, you're going to install Windows DNS, sorry, not Windows DNS, on the system. Meanwhile, let's see if it take too much time. Let's go to install. That's some yellow issues here about delegation. The computer has at least one physical address. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, install. And it begins installation. Now, rapidly, let's go to Windows 10. Okay, so here we have Windows 10. Windows 10 also, this is a long terminal support of Windows 10. It's a license LTB SB evaluation. It doesn't have all those things on the startup menu, and you can use it, you can download it as the Windows Server from the trial on Microsoft website. This Windows Server, this Windows 10, as you can check, it has a name, desktop, blah, blah, and you should also rename. You can also rename it while you are adding this computer to the domain. But meanwhile, you can just remain the computer while it's installing here. You can rename. You can rename this computer. So you come here to properties, change settings, and we'll change to Win 10 client. Okay, right now is on the work group. We'll need to add this computer to the domain, but we'll do this later after we add the domain and DHCP install it. Restart, going to restart, and let's come here to installation. It's still on progress. Sometimes Windows goes nearby the river, and then it comes. Now let me check. I'm going to stop here the video, and I'll be back. I'll be back just after the domain after this server is promoted to a domain controller. Okay, I'm going to stop it, check how it is. Where is it? Here, and stop.